What is up, Envoys? And today I am bringing you my Yareli Prime build. As always, we will go over the Archon Shards first. For this one, we are using 3 Tau Forged Topaz that increase secondary critical chance by 1.5% every time you kill an enemy affected by heat status, max 75%. Now, even though it says max 75%, that is per shard. So with this, you'll have 225% critical chance given to your secondaries. On top of that, we are using a casting speed shard, so we cast our abilities faster, and this is more of a flex arcane slot. I'm using this because either I have Tempest Barrage on the first build, or I have a secondary that does corrosive, which allows us to effectively have a 98% armor strip, which isn't fully 100%, but you really don't need it anyways. Speaking of the builds, we have 2 for you today. One that uses Loyal Merulina and the one that doesn't, so that means you're riding on her. Each of these builds are up to your taste, depending upon which one you like to play. In addition, there's multiple different variations of it, especially with the helmet, along with the weapons, which we will go over. Starting out first, we have the Loyal Merulina build. This essentially makes it where you are no longer riding her, but she instead acts as a companion and casts sea snares on nearby enemies. This is really nice because it stacks up with sea snares, which does stupid amounts of damage. Going over the rest of the build, brief respite for some shield gaining, which is really nice, especially since even though it's 90% damage reduction, having shield gaining is nice, especially at higher levels. Cunning Drift, we have some ability range here. If you don't want to do ability range, you're more than welcome to use Power Drift. We are using Archon Stretch for some more range. You can use regular Stretch if you don't plan on using a Diriga or a Hound. That's up to you. I am for this particular build, so having the extra energy is nice. Additionally, Archon Flow is really nice for this build, as our 1 and our 4 do cast proc cold, not cast, my apologies, proc cold. So if the off chance they do get a kill with it, you get some energy out of it. We also are using Umbral Intensify and Blind Rage for some ability strength, Prime Continuity for ability duration, and Rolling Guard for more defense. Now, if you don't like Rolling Guard, just use Adaptation. There's nothing wrong with it. I prefer Rolling Guard for the invulnerability and just removing status effects, especially fucking Toxin, because Toxin is the bane of everyone's existence. Moving on to the last one, we are using Viral Tempest due to the fact that our helmet is Tempest Barrage over her 3. Energize for our Arcane, and same with Molt Augmented, so we have some energy gain. You really don't need it. You should realistically use Pistolier or another Arcane of your choice. It's up to you. This is more of a flex slot. Moving back to the abilities, we are using Tempest Barrage, which will effectively give us a 98% armor strip with our green shard. In addition, essentially you just use Riptide to pull things in, Sea Snares, then you just Tempest Barrage the entire time and watch enemies just die. Now, we're going to back out for a second and whatnot. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot. You can replace Tempest Barrage if you really don't want it with either Roar, Silence, or my favorite, Sentient Barrage. Sentient Barrage gives a damage vulnerability, and on top of Sea Snares, it's just hilarious. Just damage numbers that you probably realistically shouldn't be doing, but it's extremely nice. So for our primary, we are using the Daikyu Prime. It just came out, and this thing is really, really good, especially with its new unique trait. Weak point hits have 250% critical chance. Now, we are using the Amalgam Daikyu mod because the headshot multiplier and 60% chance to pick up used arrows. Aptitude, Rifle Elementalist, Prime Shred for some more punch through, and Fire Rate because this thing does shoot very slow. And we are using Vital Sense and Primary Acuity. Now, if you don't like Primary Acuity, you could just use critical delay instead, and then replace Shred with Galvanized Chamber. Simple as that. I get that not a lot of people like this mod because of the requirement to get constant headshots, but I would recommend trying this out. It's really fun. But again, replace Primary Acuity with Critical Delay and Prime Shred with chamber. In addition, if you don't want fire, replace this with electricity, whatever element you want. In addition, we are using longbow sharp shot because every time we get a headshot, we get 300% damage on our next shot, which if you're consistently getting headshots, it's extremely nice. In addition, if you do not have a Riven mod, a Bane mod, Serration, anything realistically, if you want to put a 60-60 mod on here instead, more power to you. Heck, you can realistically even just put scope on here for more critical chance. If you want to be an insane person and aim down sight for 12 seconds, be my guest. I'm not doing it. I don't enjoy doing that. So, moving on to the Kompressa Prime, our heat inherent status builder. We are using Shot and Diffusion as normal, Lethal Torrent for more fire rate multi-shot, Pistol Pestilence and Jolt for corrosive, Scorch and Prime Heated Charge for heat, Augur Seeker for status duration, and some extra help with shield gating. Additionally, we are using Secondary Encumber to trigger more status effects, because why not at this point, and Lethal Momentum to for our projectiles to hit the target faster. This is really, really nice. The Kompressa Prime is a major upgrade. I kind of wish I had a Riven for it, but unfortunately I don't. Moving on to the melee, we are using the Praedos, not because we're actually going to be using it. You can, it's still very good, but mostly for the fact so we have 30% parkour velocity and sprint speed so we can move around faster. Realistically, if you don't want to use the Praedos, you can use whatever you want and replace the green shard with a parkour velocity shard, but again, up to you. Now we are going to move back to the build and show you the one that you get to ride Merulina, which is my favorite. We are going to be using Growing Power for some more ability strength, Cunning Drift for range, same thing with Stretch. The build is basically the same, minus Augur Secrets and Augur Message, so we have more duration and strength. Now, if you don't like this build and you'd rather use something else, there is a variation to this build. You could put Archon Intensify in place of Humble Intensify, and then use Merulina Guardian instead of Augur Message. Now, these two mods work together due to the fact that Merulina is considered an ability, and if you heal with an ability, Archon Intensify procs. So you would get an extra, 16% strength with this, if that's what you want to do, and you keep her healthy. On top of the fact, you get 200% reload speed and fire rate, which is extremely nice. We are going to go back to this, though. Where did it go? There it is. Now, we are using Gloom, which you will have to cast before you get on Merulina. And it basically stays on the entire time. You realistically won't run out of energy unless there's way too enemies and you're just spamming, right? If you don't want to use Gloom, there are two other options you can do. One is Evade, which now works with Merulina as of Wednesday when the patch released. They actually fixed it to where you can gain the duration. Now, my problem with Evade is that it's capped at 25 seconds, meaning you don't have any breathing room whatsoever in order to keep the duration going. If you're able to do that in high stakes situations, by all means use it. Your other choice is Omamori, which gets a bad rep as well. However, it does prevent damage and heals you. So in theory, you could just become an immortal tank just by it blocking damage and healing you. Now, since you are on Merulina, you are only limited to secondaries. We will not be using the Kompressa Prime for this build. We do have several choices. First is the Coda Catabolyst. I'm going to show the build here and whatnot. I do have a Riven for this, but the disposition's too low for me to even think about it. Essentially, with this, you're going to use Critical Mutation and whatnot that will give you up to 300% crit chance and crit damage whenever you hit enough enemies with your grenade. Now, that 300% crit chance plus Yareli's passive, which gives 200% critical chance for secondary weapons while she's moving, of course. Oop, that is the wrong button, my bad. And then the 225%, you get about what, 700? Yes, 725 crit chance to your weapons, which is extremely nice. And this is the build here, just your run-of-the-mill crit, galvanized shot, diffusion, critical mutation, heated charge, elementalist. Then we do have some corrosive, yes, because it comes with innate viral. We are using a heat valence bonus for this, lethal torrent for more fire rate and multi-shot, and ruinous extension for beam length. We are using merciless. Realistically, you have a choice here. You could do encumber or fortifier if you really wanted to, in case you wanted more defenses with her. Your other choice is another crowd favorite. Let's find it, unless I can't spell. You've got the Ocucor, which basically does the same thing. Whenever you kill an enemy, your stash chance and crit chance are increased by 60% for every tendril, which you could do the math there. You add everything up, it's a ton of crit chance. That's your other choice. There are a few choices, like there's also a thought of using the dual Coda Torxica, because it too has a unique trait where whenever you kill an enemy affected by it, the cold status effect, I cannot speak. The cold status spreads, thus giving you a 1.5 times extra damage, which on top of sea snares is just even more hilarity. On top of the, and the other thing is you want to make sure you're using heat for those Archon Shards as well. That's it for any kind of weapons. Let me think of anything else in here. The Cyanoid Gamma Core is good. I think that's it. I wish you could use the Onos, but you can't change it to the incarnate form while riding it. I've tried it multiple times. I've tried coming out of Merulina in order to do it, but every time I go back on Merulina, it switches back to the base form. You could also use the Synax, the Athodai, which is getting an augment pretty soon once it gets unlocked in the Nightwave. But yeah, and then over here, we always use this, the Diriga. I won't really go over it. I go it all the time in case you missed it. This is the build. This is what procs Archon Stretch. And this is the Volclock, which is what we're using for the weapon. Right, for the Simulacrum Test, I'm going to show off the weapons real quick. Mostly the Daikyu. As you can see here, if you just aim down sight, pretty decent damage over here, especially if you get the punch through. Just one-shotting these guys like it's absolutely nothing. I can't believe I missed that while he's like 5 feet in front of me. 3.1 million. I really suck at aiming with a bow. All right, and then I'm going to show off the Coda Catabolyst real quick, and I'll quickly switch to the Kompressa. At first, it's not going to do much damage because you need a lot more kills to get this going, but it definitely can kill once you get the stacks up as well as your topaz shards. So where is the Kompressa? There we are. I'm going to show off this bad boy real quick so you guys can see it in action. Once you build it up, it'll just start killing these guys. The only thing I wish is, see, that's what the kind of Riven I want, is more magazine capacity. All right. And then I'm going to switch back to the Coda Catabolyst because that is my currently used weapon for this build. And I'm just going to show off the build in action. I forgot to do that first. Then we do that. Going to simulate these real quick. and then 1.8 million on the grenade toss. Well, that is it for the video. We are doing the Solar Steel Path Run, so you guys can see this build in action. I am going to be using the one where we ride Merulina, as I prefer that one over the other. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the builds, and until next time, guys, bye!